That is what the messages seem to say.
Okay. And are you telling us that your wife was not aware that you had this big meeting scheduled for the 24th?
She was aware that I had the meeting scheduled.
Okay. And was she aware that the nanny was taking your daughter to the zoo?
It appears to me that she arranged for Juliana to take Valerie to the zoo. She got the parking tickets to take her to the zoo. She had planned it, I don't know, a week, 10 days prior.
Right. And the zoo opens at 8 o'clock and everyone's leaving at 7, but she scheduled Joe Ryan to come over at 7:20. Is that correct?
I don't know what time she scheduled exactly.
Okay. And you indicated that you were not aware that she had taken February 24th off until just the day before, right?
That is correct.
Okay, but that's not accurate because her parents were scheduled to come while you were going to be out of town the night of the 24th. Isn't that correct?
I believe they were coming in the evening, and then she would already be back from work.
I see. So your expectation was that she was working that day, but their expectation and everyone else's expectation is that she would be home.
I don't believe it was ever stated that she was going to be home, that they were aware that she was going to be home. My experience was that she was scheduled to work until that day.
But her parents were coming for dinner.
I don't know if they were coming for dinner. I think they were traveling through. I don't know why they were coming exactly.
Okay.
Because I think they were going to Florida or continuing on.
Okay. And it would be your contention that on the morning of this planned tryst, she took her phone and turned it off herself and put it in the kitchen drawer?
I don't know. I did not see her turn off the phone.
Okay, you didn't see her with her phone at all, did
I
you?
saw her with her phone in the morning when I was getting ready.
You did?
Yes.
Okay, and she was on her phone in the morning when you were getting ready?
Yes, she had her phone in the morning,
And you said that was 6:30.
roughly. I mean,
Okay.
I was in and out getting ready in that morning, so it's hard to say an exact time.
So then would it surprise you if the digital forensics, Mr. Lidsky's work would show that she was not on her phone at 6:30 or really any time before or after that within a...
I saw her with her phone. It was on the bed. She had the laptop also on the bed.
Got it. Okay, so she was just with the phone, not using the phone.
Yes.
I see. Let's talk about what happened in the room that morning. You leave the house, you go to McDonald's, and you're in the bathroom there for 7 minutes. Is that correct?
I believe that's what the time showed.
Okay, and you don't leave the bathroom until Juliana calls you at 7:37. Is that correct?
I believe that's the time. I don't have the time in front of me.
Okay, but as you're leaving the bathroom, you don't call 911.
I did not.
Okay, and you don't tell Juliana to call 911.
No, I did not.
You don't run out of the McDonald's. We've seen you on the video. You walk to your car.
I thought it looked like I was walking faster than normal.
Okay, but you're not concerned. You said at this point in time, you didn't have any reason to worry. You thought maybe she was just having an affair, another one, correct?
That was my original thought.
Okay, so out of curiosity, if she's having another affair, why are you going back to the house at all? Why didn't you tell Juliana just to go to the zoo with Valerie? Don't worry about it. It's just another affair.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to be telling Juliana about Christine's affairs. That's not something I would discuss with her.
Why not? You're having an affair with Juliana.
We discussed basically nothing about Christine together. She didn't want to know anything about Christine.
Okay, so you're leaving the McDonald's. You're heading back home to catch your wife in the affair then?
I was very unsure of what was going on at that point. It went through my mind that it was possibly going to be an affair, but I did not know what it was.
Okay, so when you arrive at the house, you're saying that Juliana brings Valerie in after you to the basement. Is that correct?
Yes, and she also said that she followed me later. She didn't say that I told her.
Okay, and at that point in time, again, you're still thinking you're just busting your wife having sex with some guy.
I did not know, once again, exactly what was going on. That was a consideration, that it was possible that she was having an affair, but I did not know what was happening at that time.
Okay, but be it catching her in an affair or this question mark something else that you haven't defined, why wouldn't you tell the babysitter to take your daughter back outside?
I believed that she was safe in the basement. I thought they were okay there. I did not perceive that they were in danger at that time. I told them to stay at the car. I don't know why she chose to come to the house.
Okay, but you're law enforcement, and this is your house. You're not going to tell them what to do to ensure that they are safe when you have this doubt about what's going on?
I understand that, and it may have been a mistake that I didn't send them back out, and it's something that I've thought about many times.
Okay. You indicated that you haven't drawn your gun until you're on the stairs up to the bedroom and can hear what you think are sex noises coming from the bedroom. Is that correct?
No, I stated that when I was on the main floor, I believed that the noises were sex, moaning, things like that. But later on, when I was climbing the stairs, I had already changed my thought, and I thought that what I believe are strikes sounded too sharp, too.
Right, your mind changed. It
Yes.
wasn't sex anymore now, it sounded bad.
Yes,
Okay, at that point in time, there's a lock on the outside of your basement door, correct?
yes.
Okay, you didn't lock the basement door, did you?
I'm not sure I've ever locked that.
Well, the lock is there, isn't it?
It was there when it came with the house. I don't believe I've ever used that lock at any point.
Okay, but it would have presumably kept your babysitter and your child from leaving the basement and following you, as we know Juliana did, up to the room where bad things were now happening, right?
I guess that's possible, but I never thought of that lock. It's not something that's in my general thought pattern, as it's not something we ever use.
Okay, so you followed your training and pulled your weapon and walked up the stairs with the gun out. Is that accurate?
Yes,
Okay. And when you turned and saw Juliana had followed you, at that point in time, you're worried that bad things are happening, correct?
yes, I am.
Did you tell her to call 911 at that point?
No, I was moving quickly towards the door.
Did you tell her to go back downstairs and get your daughter out of the house at that point?
I wasn't worried about Juliana at that point. I was worried about Christine.
Okay, and you weren't worried about your daughter at that point either then, right?
I don't think Valerie was on the top of my mind when I believed that Christine is being injured, and
Okay.
that was at the forefront of my mind.
So you get up to the room with your gun drawn and you see what's happening. You see Joe Ryan behind your naked wife with something metal in his hand. Is that accurate?
Yes,
Okay. And at that point in time, you yelled police, correct?
yes,
Okay. You didn't shoot.
no.
You did not yell for Juliana, who's behind you, to call 911.
I didn't know that Juliana was behind me or had climbed the stairs at that point. I had only seen her on the main floor leave at the door. I did not see her climb the stairs at that point.
Okay, but you told us that the foyer is this big echoey chamber that you can hear from anywhere in the house. If she's in the foyer and you're standing at the door, whether or not she's immediately behind you, if you yelled, call 911, she would hear you, wouldn't she, in this echoey foyer?
Yes, she would hear that.
Okay, but you didn't do that, did you?
I was focused on the tense situation that was in front of me.
Okay. Your Honor, I'm going to ask for just a moment while I log back in. Judge, if I can have the witness and counsel take a look at Commonwealth's 251. Mr. Banfield, is this the person that you saw when you entered the bedroom?
Yes.
Joseph Ryan? Yes?
Yes.
Judge, at this time, I'd offer Commonwealth's 251 into evidence.
Any objection?
Your Honor, object to relevance.
Overruled, 251 in evidence.
So this man, Joseph Ryan, planned to kill your wife, having left this completely discoverable trail on the internet. Is that correct?
I have no idea what his plans were.
Okay. So you think maybe he came for another reason and then at some point his mind changed?
I don't know.
Okay. Did he say anything to you that would lead you to believe that he stabbed your wife on the spur of the moment?
I mean, it appeared to be somewhat related to me telling him that I was going to arrest him. But besides that, I'm unsure.
Okay, well then let's nail this down. I thought you had said that when you entered the room, the knife is in his hand, the other hand's maybe on her neck, somewhere in her hair, and she's already bleeding, correct?
I believe that there was already blood in her hair.
Okay, so in your version of this, he had already stabbed her when you walked in the room.
I believe so.
Okay, and you then saw him stab her.
I guess I'm not sure. It could have been at that same. It could have been at that same time that he already has the knife to her neck. So I don't know if that he stabbed her before or that it was at that point that the knife is already to her neck that the blood goes to her hair.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, let's go back then and talk about your testimony. You described that when you came in, Christine was moaning / yelled. You thought she was being stabbed. She went to her left, and it seemed he, Joseph Ryan, was putting forward movement. That's what you testified to, right? So that would be the first stab that you saw.
The knife is inside of her hair, which would be at the location of her neck. I can't tell. Christine was yelling and obviously in pain. So I might think that she was already had the knife pressed to her at that point.
So we know from the medical examiner, and you know because you got to hear it, that she was stabbed 7 times and then had an 8th cutting wound, correct?
I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but yes, that sounds familiar.
Okay, and you've described for us that she's already bleeding and that you see a forward movement, but you can't really tell what happened, right? And then you told us a bit ago that there's an exchange between you and Joe Ryan. You tell him to let her go at least one more time after this exchange, and it appears that he forcefully stabs Christine. She spins away toward you and lands on her stomach on the ground. So there's one clear stab.
It's not towards me, it's away from me.
Okay, but that is one moment when you see Joe Ryan stab Christine, correct?
Yes, and then downward after she went to the floor. So
Okay, so you believe that's another stab?
I'm only positive of the 2.
Okay, so you've got 2. So there's 5 more. When did he stab her those other 5 times?
The knife is inside of her hair. I can't tell the movement. I can't tell how that is looking at that time. And I don't know exactly what happened before I arrived either.
Okay, well, she had to get 5 more wounds at some point. And you're telling us that when you get into the room, she's capable of speech, correct?
Yes.
Okay, she says a lot of stuff. She says that he's got a knife, right? Brendan, he's got a knife.
Yes.
She says that. And she says at one point that she wants you to put more pressure on her neck, correct?
Yeah, she told me to put my hand there, and then she put more pressure on my hand.
And then at one point, she tells you she can't see, correct?
Yeah,
Okay. And all of this talking is happening with what at that point in time has to be all 7 of the wounds in her neck, correct?
yes.
Okay. Judge, if I can pull down the current display. Take a look at Commonwealth's previously admitted 23.
23 under seal?
I'm sorry, 22. I
I
apologize.
have 22 under seal.
All right, and these are the wounds on the left side of her neck, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And if I can have the witness and the jury take a look at previously admitted Commonwealth's 25, also under seal. And these are the wounds on the right side of her neck, correct?
yes,
Okay, and she's chatting with you with these wounds in her neck, correct?
yes. Her voice is very hoarse. She was having difficulty speaking, but yes, she was talking to me.
Okay. So going back to Joe for a moment, you are not aware of what his plan was, whether it be to kill her or that may have just been something that happened while he was there, correct?
I know nothing about Joe Ryan prior to these interactions in the bedroom.
Okay. But you know from having sat through this trial what the Commonwealth's evidence is, right?
Yes,
Okay, and you know that he texted with someone on Christine's laptop that whole morning, correct?
yes,
And you know that he laid out his expected arrival time, correct?
I don't remember.
Okay. Did you catch that he stopped at Walmart on his way to your house and bought personal lubricant because
Your
your
Honor, I'm
wife?
gonna object. She's
What's your legal objection?
talking about the case, and she's having him corroborate what their case is.
I don't know what that legal objection is. What's the legal,
It's not relevant.
overruled?
I'm aware he went to Walmart.
I'm sorry, you're aware he went to Walmart, right?
Yes.
And then he bought personal lubricant for your wife, correct?
I guess.
Who
I don't
he may
know.
or may not have been intending to murder, correct?
I don't know why he brought personal lubricant.
Okay. He left his car parked in your driveway in broad daylight, which you saw, correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and he left his 2 cell phones in his car per the instructions that your wife gave him on Telegram, correct?
I guess. I saw the pictures on the floor. I didn't know where they were.
Okay. You said that you heard what you thought initially were sex noises, right?
Yes,
Okay, but we know from the physical evidence recovery kits that were taken from both Mr. Ryan and your wife that there was no semen, no DNA from Mr. Ryan found in or around your wife's genitalia, correct?
that's my understanding.
Okay. So how long do you think passed between your instructions to Joe Ryan to put down the knife, let her go, let her go, let her go, and your wife is bleeding before you shot him?
Not that long, under a minute.
Under a minute. Okay, so if we were to count out 60 seconds, 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth, that would be a minute. And in that time, you did not shoot him.
I did not shoot him, and I did not shoot him prior to Christine going to the floor.
Okay, and at that point in time that she's going to the floor, we're at least 6 stab wounds in, right?
To the best of my knowledge, it's hard to see. Also, I'm aiming down my sight at Joe, and so I'm not focused exactly on Christine. You have a narrowed view when you're aiming down a firearm.
And you just couldn't pull the trigger, could you?
I was afraid.
Okay. And you are a trained law enforcement officer, correct?
I am, but I have, my shooting record is on the lower end for the qualifications, and there is not a lot, and there's very little space there. And I was afraid of hitting her.
Okay. Mr. Ryan did not have a gun, correct?
Not that I'm aware of.
You also had handcuffs, correct?
Yes,
You didn't use those to apprehend Mr. Ryan, correct?
looking back on it, I should have handcuffed him after my shot. Would be something that I should have done looking back at it.
Okay. Well, let's talk about your weapons training. You said that you go to the range monthly to keep up on your skills. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would say I go roughly every month, every other month, when I can.
Okay, so would it then surprise you that when you took Juliana in October of 2022, that you hadn't been since one time in April and one time in May of that year, and prior to that, not since 2020?
I was going to Blackfish Armory as my primary place. We had the Treasury Department had a contract with them, and I didn't have to pay for them, but the contract ended. And so then I went back to Silver Eagle Group.
When did the contract end?
I'm not sure, but Blackfish Armory actually went out of business. They were in Chantilly, so that was pretty close to me. So that's where I was primarily going prior to Silver Eagle Group.
Okay, but you were going to Silver Eagle Group in 2020, and then you went to Silver Eagle Group in April and May of 2022, and then in October and December when you took Juliana. So at what point in time did you transition to Silver Eagle Group?
I mean, I guess I came to Virginia in 2019, so I guess probably in 2019, 2020, 2021, it sounds like I was probably going to Blackfish Armory instead of Silver Eagle Group,
Well,
but I don't
without
know.
speculating, what do you remember doing?
That's not something that I remember the transition of exactly between the two.
Okay. Why did you teach Juliana to shoot?
It was something that we could do together. It was, in terms of many activities, it was something that was going to be out of the house, and generally when I could or she could, we would do activities together. It was something I was already going to do, and she wanted to come with me.
Okay. And you gave her the code to your safe in your bedroom, correct?
She realized that it was the same code as the door when I was putting away my gear during the day.
So your gun safe code is the same as the door code to your house that your child and wife and babysitter have access to?
They had their own codes, but my code was the same between my door and my safe in my car. It was the same for all of them.
Oh, okay, so Juliana didn't have the door code because that's how she got in and out of the house.
She had her own door code to get in and out of the house.
Okay, so you gave her the code to your safe.
Those are different. I have my own code to the door, and she has her own code to the door, and my mother has her own code to the door, and Christine has her own code to the door. She just, being next to me, going in and out of the house, knew my code.
So when you observed your babysitter picking up your code, because she was able to see, you didn't think that was a good time to change the code?
It wasn't a concern of mine at that point. I didn't think about it. Also, I don't think I've ever changed the code after the initial setup. It wasn't something that was on my mind.
Okay. Is that part of your law enforcement training, that it's okay for people to have the code to your gun safe?
I'm aware that others in my department had family members that were aware that they knew the code, that they knew their codes.
Okay.
Is this a breaking time for lunch, or you let me know? Okay,
I only have a
That's
little
fine.
bit left, Judge. If I can have 10 more minutes.
That's fine.
I won't
Let's
make
do it.
everybody starve, but
Okay.
just a little bit. Thank you.
That's fine.
Do you have any life-saving training as a result of your law enforcement background?
A little bit.
A little bit, okay. And your life-saving training tells you that Juliana should be the one to call 911 while you are attending to Christine, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, but when Juliana hadn't called 911, you didn't think that was the time at which maybe you should do it?
I didn't realize that she didn't call 911 immediately because I was focused on Christine. So
Okay.
I wasn't looking at Juliana after I told her to call 911. I was looking at Christine.
Okay, so you're also then not aware that Juliana hung up on 911 15 minutes prior to the call where you spoke to them?
My awareness was that she made that original call in the upstairs room.
She made the original call in the upstairs room, and where were you?
No, my understanding is that she actually made the call originally while she was in the basement.
Oh,
As
not
per
the
her.
upstairs, okay. Okay, so you weren't there then, is your contention?
I never heard her make the original call. I never saw her make the original call.
And you certainly didn't tell her to hang up the phone?
No, I knew nothing about the original call until far later.
Okay, so while you are tending to your wife and exchanging hand placement with her over the wounds that we saw, you did not at that point in time use the towel, the blanket, the sheet, or the other blanket to staunch the flow of blood from her neck?
It wasn't until I was instructed to by 911 to do that. Pressure is a different form of treatment that we were taught, and that is also what Christine was doing. I believe that was the best course of action at the time.
To put pressure on the wound that was so large that your finger went inside of it, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And when first responders arrived, you agree you're on video holding her neck with your bare hand, correct?
I think so.
So where had the towel, the blanket, the sheet gone at that point,
think
after
that-
you were instructed by 911?
I think the towel was right next to me, but
It was under your knees, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Okay,
I thought it was right next to me.
thank you. Nothing further, Judge.
All right. Let's go ahead and, I assume it's going to take a little time for redirect, or?
Yes, sure.
Okay, let's go ahead and take our hour lunch then. Don't discuss the case and don't do any outside research. See you back here about 2:15.